Today, we are tackling the Crown Prince of Demacia himself, Jarvan IV, and seeing if he can convert his skills in leading a nation to leading our team to victory. As always, if you want to see a specific unit in a future video, make sure to let me know in the comments and I'll bump up their chances in our big wheel of names. I'll be honest, I haven't been looking forward to Jarvan. His knockup is good and it's nice that he dives to the backline, but once he gets there he just sort of stands around as he has one of the highest mana costs in the game. In addition, his traits are probably the least flashy in the game, both just giving basic stats. And to top it all off, his splash art looks like he's pissed off even being on my team. Well, you know what? Back at you, bud.
I love a challenge.
So to spice this video up, I've downloaded some of the over 2 minutes of Jarvan voiceover that exists in-game. What do you think about that, Jarvan?
Demacia!
Wow, no way. So, Warlord's Jarvan is probably the better version compared to Keeper's, but it's tougher to make him stand out when your whole team is getting bonus health and spell power. So we're going to keep on keeping Keepers this match. The goal is we get a big J4 and try to ult as many times as possible, so we're going to be looking for Shojins, Rageblade, or in a pinch, a blue buff. I want Jarvan to be a human game of zip zap zop and continuously zip across the battlefield. While this is going on, we'll try and surround him with the most tanky team available to us. It's always demoralizing to see your opponent with a chosen Jarvan when you know you legally cannot pivot out of Jarvan. And even though little Jarvan here is going to die fighting his big brother, we end up winning this round because a prince doesn't need to fight his own battles. It's about the respect and devotion that he inspires in others, like a big frog and a tree man. Moving forward a few rounds, we can see we have 2 Vanguard, 3 Keeper on the board. I've arranged my team in a death ball formation for the Keeper bonus and as dying as their specialty. And for tracking purposes, so we can measure his impact, I would be playing an audio cue whenever Jarvan ults.
Demacia!
Like so. So yeah, we're going to need at least 3 or 4 more of those from Jarvan to turn a battle like this. But we've got 88 health, Jarvan has no items, and he isn't even a 2-star yet. There's lots of time for him to carry. Now, I wouldn't say Dusk Jarvan is the dumbest thing I've built, but it's definitely suboptimal. Jarvan is lucky to cast more than once without items currently, so 20% extra damage isn't that big. But it buffs Kennen, and if we can find a Riven, there is some Keeper Dusk synergy. But it doesn't really compare to a Force of Nature, as I did get another Spatula that's just sitting there. And while our team is still relatively tanky, the damage potential of tank Kennen is starting to fall off. Especially when we're facing off against a Riven. Her constant shields are a horrible matchup to our slow, grindy damage. But you know, you can't win them all. Keepers are too OP. Okay, well maybe not all Keepers, but 50% of the time. As the game goes on, you can see we get Riven for that 4 Keeper, 3 Dusk build. And we're lucky enough to meet someone who I have to assume is doing their own challenge with an Elise carry. It's really interesting and I can't wait to try it out myself. Its one weakness though is if you attack it with 8 people, 1 for each leg, it has no defense. So here we have it, folks. We got almost none of the components that we wanted to make a cool Jarvan, and we've ended up with this weird Dusk Vanguard Zerod's Portal Jarvan. We don't even have a 3-star. If you're looking for a Jarvan build, I would look at this and then try and do the opposite, honestly. So we managed to hold on a little longer due to lucking out and finding a chosen Dusk Riven, but the writing was already on the wall at this point. Let's see if next game we can place a little higher if we don't use Ultimate Bravery to make our Jarvan build. Okay, so it took a while to find Jarvan this game, but at least this time he has a Shojins. I'm still not sold on Jarvan's offensive output, so to help him stand out more, we're keeping him with a pretty defensive team, with 2 Vanguard, 2 Keeper, 2 Divine. How does that sound, Jarvan?
Demacia! Ha!
Okay, well, we're doing it anyways, so... Alright, this match is sort of a blueprint of what I want our team to do. You can see Jarvan jumps right to the back line, while our Keeper, Vanguard, Mystic frontline soaks up damage like a Swiffer Wet Jet. The only thing we're missing is some attack speed on Jarvan so we can cast more than once a round, but we'll get there. Here we can see a glimpse of what we want out of Jarvan. Like a true prince, he jumps to the backline to save the fair maiden Janna when the shadows attack her. But once he realizes, nah, not worth, he is still able to dip and run as far away as possible. This disruption both helps spread the damage across the team and knock up a bunch of enemies in the meanwhile. If he wasn't a wimpy 1-star, I think that he could really be a real carry at this point. And there are our missing Jarvans. We might not have a Jarvan 3, but we have a Jarvan 4, which is a Jarvan 2, which averages out to a Jarvan 3. We've also given him a Frozen Heart so that 1, he has 20 more mana, and 2, he can slow the backline while he's chilling there. The way I would describe this composition is like if I tried to play soccer using only my head. It would take some time to master, and in the end it would look pretty cool. But at the end of the day, it's just not that good. Jarvan is pulling his weight literally all over the field, but it just isn't enough to compete with some real carries like Morgana or Talon, or really any other A-list carry. And I think that makes sense. He's a warlord, and I feel like that's supposed to be a team effort. Everybody plays a role, and Jarvan's isn't exactly to carry that composition. This isn't a cautionary tale, though. An underperforming royal is still royalty, and with a late Azir, we were able to stabilize a bit before getting a very close 4th. And I think that's the real lesson here. If you want a royal warlord keeper who can attack the backline to be your carry, just use Azir. But I guess if you hate birds or something, Jarvan can fill in for you in a pinch. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Honestly, it makes my day when I see a new subscriber, and a big thanks to the 3 people who already have. As always, if you don't, please feel free to fight me in real life. I'm like the Mike Tyson of TFT.